The distant bursts of plasma signaled to Shenna the invading of Ghia's forces on Toumarin Village. She clicks her tongue and nods to the back of the bar.
My late husband built weapons, so I've got a couple in a red crate. Distribute them and load whatever ammo you can find.
Shenna adjusts some dials on the side of her rifle to fine-tune the weapon. Accuracy, heat distribution, everything had to be prepared before Ghia came to the tavern. What few patrons had decided to stay and defend geared themselves up with Shenna's arms and gear, including the Brahmin who dons a large leather vest laden with metal plates. She remembers that her husband told her about putting as much stuff between the enemy and herself, instructing the patrons to move tables and chairs to the windows. Anything was used as a barricade, including bags of grain, crates, old wooden planks, subjectively cover against plasma bolts. Bright purple bursts of plasma streaked over the top of the bar, and Ghia pokes his head out from the corner of a nearby building.
Shenna of Toumarin Village, come out! The Empire has dictated you are an enemy of the state. Come out, and you will not be slain, and your assets will be redistributed in the name of the Empire.
Ghia shouts in the distance. Shenna takes no time at all, standing up from her cover to address her people.
I will not ask you to die with me, for I will fight and die alone, and free if I must. I refuse to be a slave under tyranny.
Shenna bellows with all her might. The surrounding villagers who chose to stay raise their weapons with valor in their voices, cheering on Shenna with all their might. She snaps her head to the sudden appearance of one of Ghia's men popping around a corner, and the first shot was fired directly into Shenna's gut. Her entire body slams into the back wall as plasma explodes directly in front of her, knocking the balcony around viciously and splintering the surrounding wood crates. She cries out, her body being burnt and her long hair sizzling from the intense heat and pressure. Everyone uniformly returns fire at the source of the gunfighter, pouring plasma and poor accuracy into the guard. He falls over, defeated quickly. Shenna growls and holds her stomach, with the cauterized flesh barely being held together from third-degree burns. The bolt didn't go through. A lucky break as she rips off her top and quickly wraps herself up as best as she could. She had no regards for shame, standing up and pointing at Ghia with violent intent.
They cannot kill an idea. My flesh may go away forever, but the spirit of freedom will last. Hold your ground, stay in cover, and return fire as they come.
Shenna winces in pain, feeling blood trickle between her fingers from her gut wound. Shenna shouts and points at another guard attempting to gain entry to the courtyard, armed with an incendiary device. Very quickly, a wall of plasma showered the guard, forcing her to drop her ordnance. The guard howls loudly, now being engulfed in fire, so she ran straight out the doorway, but was quickly dispatched with a wall of plasma. Another guard bursts from cover, showering the two front barricades with accurate bursts of plasma, forcing them behind their cover. The two realized they had very poor cover, as bolts splintered the wooden chairs apart quickly, one bolt going through the accusant's hand and blowing 3 of his fingers off. He howls in agony, standing up and holding his cauterized wound. Multiple bolts fly through his body and head, killing him quickly. The other in cover cried out in terror as his companion fell over onto his side, standing up quickly to return fire, but is also quickly dispatched by a guard from another window. It was sheer war in such a small area.
Stay behind cover. Don't pop out until you need to.
Shenna commands, blasting one guard from another balcony and killing him instantly. She snaps her attention to the roof of another building as multiple guards try to set up some kind of weapon. She shouts, pointing in the direction of the squad of guards. Then quickly the Brahmin companion rushes through the rain of bolts without concern of his own life, crashing through the door of the building underneath the machine. She listens carefully, avoiding multiple bolts as they ricochet off the roof and balcony. One bolt explodes near her, throwing wooden shrapnel into the side of her face. She howls out loudly, holding her face with her free hand and growling something vicious in response. Shenna looks back out to the machine being set up, watching her Brahmin companion absolutely thrash the 3 guards by himself, swinging with his giant arms with crushing intent to their skulls. One guard was thrown off the building completely. The other's head spun around twice from a single punch, and the third surrendered quickly. But the Brahmin grabbed the guard and bent him in half over his knee. He then grabs the entire weapon itself, lifting it from the tripod with ease. He steps over the dead bodies and stands at the edge of the roof, observing the unaware guards below. He grins wide, pulling the trigger and pouring volumes of firepower into their backs. Bright bursts of purple plasma light filling the courtyard as they tried to collect themselves from the confusing rear-facing fire. They had no idea it was the Brannan separatist, and thus were felled quite quickly. He raises his new weapon and yowls out a battle cry, firing multiple rounds into the sky. He hops down from the roof, rolling as he hits the ground. He dives again through the thick rain of bolts, mounting to the outer barricades and quickly returning fire, all in one motion. The entire courtyard was filled with streaking blue and purple flashes of light, piercing through walls and punching through feeble guard armor. It appeared the tables have turned, and the guards were soon quickly retreating. Greetings, travelers! A gunfight breaks out in front of Shenna's tavern, but she is aptly prepared to fight off Ghia's forces. Even though they are forced to retreat, will the Empire come back to finish the job? If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to hear about my next video. As always, good ventures on your journey, and may we see each other soon.